Hello friends, I welcome you back to this lecture series on aircraft performance. In the last lecture, we understood various aerodynamic relations and its dependability on various parameters like maximum range, maximum endurance, and even minimum thrust condition. So in today's lecture, we will be discussing about the range and endurance of both propeller as well as the jet aircraft. Right? Let's begin. So the range is defined as the total distance traversed by an airplane on one full load of fuel. Right? When you measured on ground how much range an aircraft is covered with a given amount of fuel, right? That means a full fuel tank. Next is the endurance. This word you might have heard in Olympics. Let's say till what time an athlete can be on track, right? Let's take for example, it's a classic example. Usain Bolt runs 100 meter in less than 10 seconds, whereas a Ethiopian runner, he runs 10 kilometer race, let's say in 1 hour or so. So it's an interesting or example to understand what is the endurance, right? So it is the amount of time an airplane can stay in air on one load of fuel, right? So it is different from range in a way that range may be zero although fuel is getting consumed. Let's take for example loitering. What is loitering? Let's say you arrive at New Delhi airport and there is no place for the aircraft to land. So what the air traffic control asks the pilot to do? To revolve around there may be around 10 layers of aircrafts waiting to land, right? See, although the range covered is zero, it is still above the airport only, but the fuel is getting consumed. That is the meaning of endurance. So let's try to understand how to derive the equations for range and endurance for both propeller driven aircraft as well as the jet aircraft. So for this, we need certain tools to develop before going into the actual derivation. So the first tool in order to develop equation for range and endurance is called the specific fuel consumption, right? What is specific fuel consumption? Now for a reciprocating engine, that is the propeller driven engine, the SFC is defined as the weight of the fuel consumed to generate 1 bhp of power in 1 hour, right? So this is the amount of fuel in British units. Of course, you can convert everything into SI units, no issues. Understood? So the specific fuel consumption is the amount of fuel consumed to generate 1 bhp of power in 1 hour. Let's call this as equation number 1. Now in order to stay in air for the longest period of time, the total fuel consumption should be minimum. Am I right? So there are two possibilities. There are two conditions in fact. One is either I can reduce the fuel consumption every hour, or I can reduce the fuel consumption for the entire mission irrespective of where it is flying. So on a dimensional basis, the rate of fuel consumption depends on the amount of fuel consumed per hour. As I say rate, that means every second, how much is the fuel consumed in terms of weight, right? So the rate of fuel consumption depends on the bhp, the power it generates every hour. So the rate depends directly on the power required. Higher the power required, more will be the amount of fuel consumed per hour. So if I observe carefully, the minimum rate of fuel consumption is achieved when the power required is minimum or the BHP is minimum. The maximum endurance. When I say the minimum fuel required, that means the aircraft can spend maximum time in air because the fuel consumption is minimum, right? So maximum endurance for a propeller driven airplane occurs when it is flying at minimum power required condition. The analysis we did couple of classes before for minimum power required, right? If the aircraft is flying at minimum power required condition, of course this applies to only the propeller driven aircraft or reciprocating engine aircraft, right? It occurs if the aircraft is flying at minimum power condition. So if you recall, what is the condition for minimum power required? That means when the aircraft flies at CL power 3 by 2 by CD max, right? When I say the aircraft flies at CL power 3 by 2 by CD max, that means the aircraft coefficient of lift to the power of 3 by 2 by CD ratio should be maximum. In the previous class, we have seen what all the conditions to achieve CL power 3 by 2 by CD max. That is when induced drag coefficient is 3 times that of the parasite drag coefficient, then the aircraft would be flying at CL power 3 by 2 by CD max condition. If you have not watched the previous video, please click on the I button and watch it and come back. Next, we will try to understand the range, right? When the range is going to be maximum. See, the first analysis what we did was for endurance. Now we will try to understand how range can be maximized. Now, range can be maximum when the fuel consumption per kilometer is minimum. Am I right? Per kilometer, if the fuel consumption is minimum, then the aircraft is going to fly for maximum range. Now, how to do the analysis? Consider the same basic expression for specific fuel consumption. On the LHS, I need the amount of fuel consumed per kilometer, right? For that, what I'm going to do is divide both LHS and RHS by the distance in kilometer, and on the right hand side, take the time into right hand side. It will become kilometer per hour, which is nothing but the velocity component. So when I understand this equation carefully, for the amount of fuel required per kilometer to be minimum, the power required by velocity ratio should be minimum. It is nothing but for a propeller aircraft, if it flies at minimum thrust required condition, that is CL by CD max, then that aircraft would cover maximum range. You understood the point? For maximum endurance, the propeller driven aircraft should fly at minimum power condition, whereas for maximum range, the same propeller driven aircraft should fly at minimum thrust required condition, which is CL by CD max. Quantitatively, we derive the range equation. For that, we are going to understand first of all the units and dimensions. So the units for specific fuel consumption is, let's say in British units, it is the pounds of fuel consumed to generate 1 bhp of power every second, right? So this you can convert it into SI. You can tell it as the newtons of fuel required to generate 1 watt of power every second. This is the specific fuel consumption. Now let's try to define a new product called as the product of the specific fuel consumption and the engine power and the increment in time, right? So what this product gives is, if I input all the dimensions of specific fuel consumption, engine power and the time, I'm going to get the amount of fuel. So this particular product, C into P into dt, represents the differential change in weight of the fuel due to the consumption over a period of time dt. Getting the point? In time dt, how much amount of fuel is consumed, that is given by this product. C represents the specific fuel consumption, P represents the power developed, and dt represents for that finite time. Now let's try to derive an expression for endurance, right? So for this, we need to define certain parameters. Let's say W is the instantaneous weight of the aircraft at any point during its flight, and W naught is the gross weight of the airplane, and WF is the weight of the fuel, and W1 is the weight of the aircraft without the fuel, right? Let's say W naught is the initial weight of the aircraft and W1 is the final weight of the aircraft when all the fuel gets consumed during a mission. Now, in this case, the mission may be for endurance or for maximum range. Getting the point? So let's understand. For endurance, W1 is nothing but the final weight of the aircraft, which is the initial weight of the aircraft minus the weight of the fuel, because at the end of the mission, all the fuel will be consumed. Getting the point? And let's call this as equation number 2. And the product C into P into dt, that is nothing but the differential change in weight of the fuel. That is also equal to the differential change in weight of the entire aircraft, isn't it? During flight, if there is any change in weight of the aircraft, that means that is due to the consumption of fuel. Is there any other possibility? Only if people are not jumping out of the aircraft, then only aircraft weight will reduce. Getting the point? But that won't happen until and unless people are doing the skydiving, right? So in normal passenger aircraft, the weight of the aircraft is only going to reduce due to the consumption of fuel. Clear? Right. So let's call that as equation number 3. And from equation 3, I can simplify it, the expression for the change in time, so that is the increment in time, and integrate it from time t is equal to 0 to t is equal to e, and also from weight, that is the initial weight of the aircraft, which includes the weight of the aircraft itself plus the weight of the fuel, to the weight of the aircraft, that is the final weight of the aircraft when the fuel gets emptied, right? So if I integrate this, I am going to get the integration of dt as t, and applying the limits, I am going to get the endurance for a propeller aircraft, right? Which is equal to the integral of W1 to W0. Now, since minus sign is there, I am going to interchange the limits and remove the minus. So the limits gets changed to W1 to W0 dW by C into P. And please remember, don't confuse this product C into P with the thermodynamic Cp, which is the specific heat at constant pressure. This is not that. This is the product of specific fuel consumption and the power required. Clear? Okay. Let's call this as equation number 5. Now the units of this would be in seconds. Endurance is like for how much time the aircraft is in air, that is represented with seconds or minutes or hours, right? Now let's move on to the range analysis. Consider the same equation, the change in time, as the negative of dW by C into P. Let's multiply the above equation by V infinity. I get V infinity into dt, which is nothing but the velocity into time gives the distance, right? That is the purpose of this derivation. I want a range equation, right? So let's try to get the range on the LHS, so that on the right hand side also I multiplied with velocity. Again, doing the integration for the distance, that is from 0 to r is the range, and applying the limits and taking out the negative sign, I change the limits from W1 to W0, V infinity dW by Cp. Now this is the general expression for range and its units will be in meter, right? Let's call this as equation number 6. So for a propeller aircraft, these are the two equations I have for endurance and range. For endurance, I have the integral of W1 to W0 dW by C into P. And for range, I have integral of W1 to W0 V infinity dW by C into P. Now, as you can see here, I represent both the equations in the form of a graph where x-axis represents the weight of the aircraft and the y-axis represents, on the first diagram, it represents 1 by C into P, and in the second diagram, it represents V infinity by C into P. Now, the area under this curve represents the respective ratios, right? So here in the first diagram, it represents the endurance, and in the second diagram, it represents the range. Understood? So even graphically also you can measure range and endurance, right? Now let's move on to the Breguet range equation formula for propeller aircraft, and then we are going to derive it for jet aircraft as well. Now for a steady and unaccelerated flight, I can write the power available is equal to the propeller efficiency into the power available at the shaft. See what happens, a reciprocating engine generates power at the shaft. But by the time it comes to the propeller blades, some amount of power will be lost during the transmission. That loss of power, I am going to represent it by the propeller efficiency. Clear? So just by including a term eta. Then I can write the shaft power as nothing but the power available by the propeller efficiency, and of course the power available is drag into V infinity. And if you observe carefully, drag into velocity is nothing but the power required. But here we are discussing about an equilibrium velocity where the power available is equal to the power required. So although I have shown power available, it is same as power required for that velocity to achieve. Right? That is why I have written power available as a drag into velocity, whereas it represents power required. Understood? Right. Now let's recall the equation number 5, which states that the range is equal to the integral of W1 to W0 V infinity dW by C into P. Clear? Now here I am going to replace the P in the denominator by a drag into velocity by the propeller efficiency. So after simplification, V infinity get cancelled, and multiplying and dividing by weight, range is equal to eta by C, where C is the specific fuel consumption, multiplied by CL by CD into the value of integral of dW by W is nothing but natural logarithm of W, and applying the limits I get limit of W0 by W1, right? So let's call this as equation number 7. Now this is called as the Breguet range formula for a propeller aircraft. Very interesting equation. It also gives a quick and practical solution for a design problem. And if I understand on what all parameters the range of a propeller aircraft depends, please understand, if the propeller efficiency is high, of course the range would be high. These are all obvious observations, but still very important. Higher the weight ratio, higher will be the range, which means when I say the weight ratio W0 by W1, I am talking about weight of the fuel. Getting the point? W0 is nothing but W1 plus WF. Right? It is the sum of the gross weight of the aircraft plus the weight of the fuel. So whenever I say the ratio should be high, that means you should carry more fuel along with the aircraft. Then definitely it is going to cover maximum range. Understood? And the most important parameter, what we discussed in the beginning of this lecture, that is the CL by CD max. If the aircraft is flying at CL by CD max, then the range covered by this particular propeller driven aircraft would be maximum. Now moving on to the endurance equation. So I'm not going to discuss the derivation of this because derivation is same as the range derivation. I leave it as a homework. Let's concentrate on the equation itself, right? The endurance equation what I got here is eta by C, where eta is the propeller efficiency and C is the specific fuel consumption. In place of CL by CD in range, that is being replaced by CL power 3 by 2 by CD, right? Very important observation. And I have under root of 2 rho infinity into S, where S is the platform area, multiplied by 1 by under root of W1 minus 1 by under root of W0. Very important. Let's call this as equation number 8. Right? Let's do few observation, and this is called as Brigade endurance equation. And maximum endurance is possible, of course, when the propeller efficiency is high, endurance will be high, as obvious as that, and low specific fuel consumption. And since it depends on density, as the altitude increases, the endurance reduces. Why? Because as altitude increases, density is going to reduce. Getting the point? As density reduces, endurance reduces. And as we discussed in the beginning of this lecture, the endurance for a propeller aircraft would be maximum if CL power 3 by 2 by CD will be maximum. Which means what? If the aircraft is flying at CL power 3 by 2 by CD max, then endurance will be maximum. Clear? For a propeller aircraft. Understood? Okay. And of course it should carry more amount of fuel, but that is limited by the structural requirements, right? I cannot keep on carrying, I cannot fill the fuselage with fuel, right? Limitations of fuel are there, but CL power 3 by 2 by CD max I can control, right? So I will end this lecture here. In the next lecture, we will discuss about the range and endurance for a jet aircraft, right? Thank you very much.